Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we're diving into Listen Like You Mean It by Ximena Vengoechea. This 2021 release serves as a friendly, comprehensive guide crafted to enrich our relationships through the art of listening. In our daily interactions with family, friends, and colleagues, it's all too common for conversations to skim the surface, leaving misunderstandings and superficiality in their wake. Drawing from her extensive background as a user researcher for tech giants like Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Twitter, Vengoechea arms us with practical tips and scripts that aim to elevate our listening skills, ensuring we are not only heard but also understood. Ideal for professionals keen on enhancing communication in the workplace, individuals who find social interactions challenging, or anyone craving deeper connections, this book promises to transform mundane interactions into meaningful dialogues. As Vengoechea's debut book, Listen Like You Mean It, condenses her experiences and insights from her successful career and contributions to prominent publications such as The Washington Post and Newsweek, offering readers a valuable toolkit for cultivating greater understanding and empathy in every conversation. Join us as we explore how fine-tuning our listening can lead to richer, more impactful connections. Listen Like You Mean It, Reclaiming the Lost Art of True Connection. Introduction. Unlock the secrets of deep listening. Do you ever wonder why some conversations leave you feeling unfulfilled, while others profoundly connect you to the other person? This might be a sign that your listening skills could use a touch-up. Listening is an art, and like any art, it requires practice and skill to perfect. Often we think we are listening, but in reality, we're merely hearing. True listening goes beyond the ears. It involves understanding, empathizing, and responding appropriately. In a world where digital communication often overshadows face-to-face interactions, mastering the art of listening can transform your personal and professional relationships. This guide introduces practical strategies to enhance your listening skills. Here's what you'll discover. 1. Techniques to remain fully engaged during conversations. 2. The magic of using yes and to foster a positive dialogue. 3. Understanding subtle communication differences between genders, such as interpreting the meaning behind phrases like By the end of this narrative, you'll not only comprehend these points, but you'll be equipped to implement them directly into your daily interactions. Embrace the power of listening sincerely. It might just change the way you relate to the world around you. Part 1. Master the art of true engagement in your conversations. Imagine you're part of a crucial conversation on a sensitive topic like cyberbullying. Your dialogue partner is sharing deeply personal experiences, yet somehow the connection isn't there. Where did the conversation derail? Sometimes it's not about what was said, but how it was listened to. Take Eve, a young researcher conducting interviews about the impacts of cyberbullying. During a key interview with a celebrity victim, she misconstrued the subject's responses based on her previous conversations. For example, when the interviewee expressed difficulty in ignoring hurtful comments, Eve dismissively put words in his mouth by stating, "Right, so you would ignore them." Makes sense, despite his stated struggles. Eve's mistake highlights a common pitfall in many conversations: surface listening. This is akin to skimming a book and only capturing the gist. Suitable for some scenarios, but not when depth and empathy are required. The lesson here is crucial. To foster truly impactful conversations, approach each discussion with a fresh perspective and deep focus on the individual right in front of you. Transformative listening, or empathetic listening, stands at the opposite end of the spectrum from surface listening. It entails entering conversations with the intention to fully comprehend and engage with your partner's feelings and underlying messages. This practice initiates what is known as the listening loop, a continuous flow where emotional expressions are welcomed and reciprocated, enriching the dialogue progressively. Empathetic listening necessitates cultivating three core traits: empathy, humility, and curiosity. Empathy is about genuinely attempting to feel what your conversation partner is feeling, without superimposing your personal experiences. It involves tuning into their emotional frequencies and asking probing questions that resonate with their context, not yours. Then, humility in conversations keeps you from assuming an all knowing stance, acknowledging that each individual's experience is unique and valid. It's about accepting that your perspective isn't the only one and embracing the complexities in your partner's viewpoints without judgment. Lastly, curiosity drives the desire to know more about the other person's thoughts and feelings. Rather than steering the conversation toward familiar topics, it involves a sincere interest in discovering and understanding new aspects of your partner's experiences. By embedding these qualities into your listening habits, you're not just participating in a conversation, you're enriching it, making every word count, and truly connecting with the person across from you. This approach doesn't just apply to sensitive topics, but can transform mundane interactions into meaningful exchanges, deepening your relationships one conversation at a time. Part 2. Enhance your focus to truly connect in conversations. Picture this. You're engaged in a discussion early in the morning, and your conversation partner clearly hasn't had their coffee yet. They're providing vague, lethargic responses and struggling to keep the eyelids from declaring an early night. Perhaps on a different day, you find yourself in the same boat, struggling to muster enthusiasm and barely keeping up with the conversational pace. Whether you classify yourself as a morning person or not, we all experience moments when our energy dips and our focus wanes. During these times, our capability to stay present and truly listen is compromised, affecting the quality of our interactions distinctly. Here's a key insight. Remaining acutely present in conversations requires keen observation of both yourself and your interaction partner. Self-awareness is your first tool for enhancing presence. Recognize and admit the state of your physical and mental energy. Are you feeling drained because it's late? Or is your stomach rumbling because you skipped lunch? Address these needs or communicate them. They can often explain your current state, and it might be prudent to reschedule the conversation to a time when you can bring your best self. Besides tuning into your own needs, observing your conversation partner is equally vital. Words sometimes mask deeper truths. For instance, someone might claim they're fine or that they only had one glass of wine last night, yet their physical or verbal cues suggest otherwise. People often alter the truth for various reasons, sometimes without even realizing they're doing it. To forge a deeper connection, become an adept reader of these subtle signals, like body language, choice of words, and the tone of voice. Take notice, for instance, of how eye contact, or the lack of it, can reveal much about a person's feelings and openness during a conversation. If you sense discrepancies in your partner's expressions, gently guide them towards openness with prompts such as, "Could you help me understand what you mean by that?" Or, "I'd love to hear more about your feelings on this." Show them that their true thoughts and feelings are valued and respected. By staying present, acknowledging your own state, and attentively tuning into the signals others give, you pave the way for more honest and ultimately more meaningful conversations. This doesn't just create a single moment of connection, but builds a framework for trust and openness in all your interactions. Part 3. Adapt your listening approach to meet your conversation partner's needs. Have you ever reflected on your role in conversations? It turns out, we all tend to fall into specific listening styles, whether we realize it or not. Understanding your default style can illuminate why some of your interactions thrive while others stumble. For example, if you're an explainer, you might be quick to offer logical solutions, which can be great in a brainstorming session, but less so when a friend simply needs to vent. Or perhaps you're an identifier, constantly finding parallels in your life to the story being shared, which might inadvertently shift focus from your partner to yourself. Then there's the interviewer style, where your relentless questions might make a casual chat feel like a cross-examination. Each style has its place, but the challenge, and the true art of communication lies in recognizing what the situation demands and adjusting accordingly. Here's the critical insight. Identify what your conversation partner needs from you, and then make an effort to provide it. Realizing your own listening style is the first step. From there, reading into your conversation partner's cues becomes crucial. People often don't outright state their needs, but rather hint at them through what they say or how they act. For instance, expressions like, "if only I could," might indicate a longing or regret, suggesting they need understanding or support. On the other hand, "I'm doing the best I can," could be a sign they're seeking acknowledgement or validation. Once you decipher these needs, you can tweak your listening approach. If someone seems to be reaching for validation, for example, acknowledging their efforts explicitly can be more helpful than offering unsolicited advice. Here's a practical move. If you discern that your conversation partner is overwhelmed, instead of pressing on, you might suggest, "You seem really strained. Would it help to take a break, or maybe talk about something lighter for a while?" Often, the most powerful thing you can provide isn't advice or solutions, but simply your presence and empathy. This might involve holding back your natural instincts to fix the situation and instead just being there, listening wholeheartedly. It's about giving them space to express themselves fully, knowing they have your complete attention and respect. By consciously adjusting your listening style to better align with the needs of your conversation partner, you not only improve the quality of your interactions, but also strengthen your relationships. This adaptable approach ensures that you are truly there for others, in the ways they need the most at that moment. Part 4. Unlock deeper insights with connecting questions and active confirmation. Imagine sitting down with a journalist from a bustling New York newspaper. The setting is ripe for insightful, engaging conversation, yet all you get are brief, distracted responses. This was the reality faced by an author researching storytelling, who quickly realized that she needed a better strategy to elicit meaningful dialogue. Her solution? She employed what she terms connecting questions. These are not just any questions, they are carefully crafted to delve below the surface and evoke a deeper level of sharing and understanding. Here's the central idea. Deepen a conversation with connecting questions and then confirm your understanding. Crafting an effective connecting question is about more than just asking, it's about asking rightly. These questions should be open-ended and neutrally framed, encouraging a full, thoughtful response rather than a simple yes or no. For example, instead of pressing a participant to decide between two options, such as, "Do you prefer the first screen or the second screen?" one might ask, "What are your thoughts on the prototype overall?" This allows room for a broader range of thoughts and avoids channeling their responses into a forced choice. The most potent connecting questions often start with how or what. Questions like, "How do you feel about that?" or "What would be your approach?" prompt expansive thinking and offer insights into the person's thoughts and feelings. However, it's crucial not to fish for specific answers. Doing so can cause misalignment and misunderstandings, as it might lead you to assume agreement or understanding prematurely. Once you've received a thoughtful response, the next step is crucial. Confirm what you've heard. This involves paraphrasing the essence of their response back to them. Think of it as providing a concise summary. For instance, "It sounds like you're experiencing considerable pressure at work. Is that correct?" This not only shows you are listening, but also provides an opportunity for the other person to clarify or adjust your understanding. Such a strategy enhances the conversation's depth and quality by ensuring both parties are truly aligned in their communication. This dynamic fosters a genuine exchange of thoughts and ideas, making each conversation richer and more productive. By asking connecting questions and confirming understanding, you create a two-way street of clear, meaningful dialogue. Part 5. Embrace the unexpected turns in conversation. The phrase, "yes and," is a fundamental rule in the world of improv comedy, serving to keep the performance flowing and ensure collaboration among actors. It operates on the premise of accepting what another actor establishes and then expanding on it. For instance, If one person introduces a scenario with a gorilla, a fellow performer might respond, "Yes, and that gorilla is also a renowned opera singer." This simple rule fosters an environment of creativity and spontaneity. This principle is equally valuable in everyday conversations. Instead of resisting when discussions veer off script, we can use these moments as opportunities to build on our partner's thoughts, elevating the conversation to new heights. People often approach significant discussions, like job interviews, with a set agenda and expected answers, but this can hinder truly engaging interactions. Here's a vital takeaway: stay flexible and avoid steering the conversation in a predetermined direction. Here are a couple of suggestions to remain adaptable in conversations. Firstly, embrace the novel insights or emotions your conversation partner expresses. Holding on to outdated notions or scripts doesn't just stifle dialogue, it can also make you seem rigid or aloof. Observing your partner's reactions can guide you in adjusting the flow of the conversation. Their level of engagement, whether they seem distracted or enthusiastic, can signal whether to shift the topic or delve deeper. Surprisingly, silence can also play a strategic role in conversations. Consider the experience of an author interviewing a subject named Edmark. While observing Edmark interact with a new app, he expressed positive remarks, though his body language suggested confusion. Instead of pressing him, the author simply echoed his words back to him and allowed a pause to linger. Often, these moments of silence prompt people to fill the void, revealing more genuine thoughts or concerns. Indeed, after a short silence, Edmark shared more sincere insights, providing valuable feedback that might not have surfaced otherwise. Thus, by incorporating a yes and mindset and utilizing strategic silences, you can encourage a more open and meaningful exchange. This approach not only enriches the conversation, but also strengthens the connection between participants, allowing for a dynamic interplay of ideas and emotions that mirrors the collaborative spirit of improv comedy. Part 6. Master the art of tactfully steering conversations back on course. Navigating a conversation tactfully can sometimes be akin to steering a boat in choppy waters. You need to maintain control without capsizing the flow of dialogue or dampening the enthusiasm of your conversation partner. Take the example of Jordana, a chatty and outgoing interviewee whose eagerness to discuss certain topics threatened to derail the primary objectives of her conversation with the author. Jordana, while friendly, was veering off course by focusing on her own interests, pursuing free ad credits, rather than engaging with the questions posed about her business. In response, the author employed a strategic redirection. She acknowledged Jordana's request for ad credits, affirming that she could assist with that matter, but suggested they bookmark that discussion for later. By doing so, she reassured Jordana that her needs would be addressed while also signaling a return to the initially intended topics. This approach effectively refocused the conversation without dismissing Jordana's agenda. Here is the essential strategy: politely and carefully redirect conversations that drift off the intended path. In practicing this technique, the author demonstrated several key maneuvers. Firstly, she explicitly recognized what Jordana was seeking, which validated her concerns. She also expressed a genuine interest in Jordana's work, ensuring the conversation remained engaging and affirming. Lastly, she set a clear expectation that they would revisit the ad credit issue later, thereby maintaining Jordana's interest in continuing the dialogue. Redirection is not only about managing derailments, it can also tactfully address avoidance behaviors. For instance, another colleague of the author, Gabriella, used a supposed update as a pretext to discuss routine project details, likely as a stalling tactic before announcing her resignation. Sensing the avoidance, the author gently steered the conversation back by reminding Gabriella of the original purpose of their meeting and noting the time constraint. This nudge helped Gabriella to open up about her real intention to resign, showcasing the power of a well-timed and sensitive redirection. Such moments underscore the importance of being aware and responsive during conversations. By attentively listening and adeptly guiding dialogues, you ensure that conversations not only stay on track but also address the concerns of all parties involved. This creates a space where effective communication thrives, fostering mutual understanding and respect. Part 7. Navigating the nuances that make conversations uncomfortable. Have you ever found yourself chatting with someone whose conversational style felt markedly different from your own? Perhaps you've spoken with a native New Yorker, where interruptions are often seen not as rude, but as a sign of engagement and interest. However, this style can be misconstrued in other parts of the United States, where such interruptions might be viewed negatively. This just scratches the surface of potential conversational pitfalls. From regional variances to gender differences, such as women using to acknowledge and men to agree, the landscape of dialogue is riddled with nuances that can lead to discomfort or misunderstanding. The core advice here is be acutely aware of the reasons why a conversation might become uncomfortable. Conversational challenges often arise when there are inherent differences among participants, whether they be cultural, gender-based, hierarchical, or emotional. For example, hierarchical dynamics can significantly influence the flow of a conversation. Someone in a lower power position might feel constrained, unable to express honesty for fear of repercussions. If you're in a position of power, it's crucial to foster an environment that allows openness and honesty. Conversely, if you're the one with less power, try to see the conversation as an exchange between equals, stripping away the layers of authority to facilitate a more genuine dialogue. Beyond the dynamics of power, certain topics inherently breed discomfort, such as politics, religion, or parenting strategies. Rather than shying away from these subjects, it's beneficial to engage with them head on, striving not for consensus, but for a mutual understanding. We all also carry personal hotspots, topics that trigger intense emotional responses based on our experiences. For instance, someone with a strained relationship with their mother might find discussions about Mother's Day particularly challenging. Recognizing your hotspots is vital, as is having strategies ready to manage your reactions. This could be as simple as a calming mantra or a mental escape to a peaceful place. Understanding and adapting to these diverse elements can transform potentially uncomfortable conversations into opportunities for deeper connection and insight. By being mindful of differences and prepared for sensitive topics, you can navigate conversations with grace and empathy, turning possible tension into opportunities for understanding and growth. Part 8. Setting boundaries, knowing when to step away from draining conversations. Setting boundaries in our interpersonal interactions is often easier said than done. Many of us struggle with the idea of ending conversations that aren't serving us well, whether they're overly negative or simply infringing on our personal time. But learning to do so gracefully is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and personal well-being. Imagine a scenario where a friend frequently calls to vent about personal issues without reciprocating interest in your life. Or consider those work meetings that consistently overrun, causing you to miss personal commitments. These situations, while seemingly minor, can build up resentment and dread, signaling the necessity for clear boundaries. Here's a critical takeaway. Exit conversations that become too toxic or conflict with your priorities. Fortunately, several strategies can help manage these challenging situations without straining your relationships. One effective technique is time boxing. This involves setting a clear, agreed-upon limit to the conversation right from the start. It could be as simple as beginning a meeting with, "I have another commitment in 30 minutes, so I'll need to leave by then." You can also naturally limit conversations by choosing meeting locations that won't accommodate overly long talks, like a busy cafe. Sometimes directly requesting a pause can be beneficial, particularly with close friends or family. A simple, heartfelt statement like, "I need to take a break from this topic. It's becoming a bit too intense for me," can give you the space you need without causing offense. For less familiar or formal relationships, a polite diversion can also serve well. Letting someone know, "I appreciate this conversation, but I have to go now," provides a non-confrontational exit. Regardless of how the conversation ends, it's vital to allow yourself time to recuperate. Engaging deeply in conversations, especially those that are emotionally charged, can drain your mental and emotional reserves. Author X refers to this aftermath as listener's fatigue, a state that can impact you physically, mentally, and emotionally. To combat this, recognize and honor your listening boundaries. Know when you've reached your limit and allow yourself adequate time to recover. This could be through quiet downtime, a physical activity, or simply allowing yourself a moment to breathe and release the tension. By understanding when and how to gracefully exit conversations, you not only preserve your mental health, but also ensure that your relationships remain strong and respectful. Remember, being able to listen effectively and empathetically includes knowing when it's time to step back and care for yourself. Final summary. Establishing profound connections through conversation isn't as straightforward as it might seem. Often we find ourselves engaging only on a surface level, catching the literal meaning of words, but failing to grasp the deeper, unspoken sentiments. To truly connect and make others feel heard, the practice of empathetic listening is essential. The essence of empathetic listening involves several key practices. It begins with being fully present in the moment, tuning into not just the words, but the overall expression of your conversation partner. This presence allows you to perceptively observe and respond to the needs being communicated, whether explicitly or through subtle cues. In the flow of dialogue, asking meaningful, connecting questions is crucial. These questions go beyond mere facts, probing into the feelings and reasons behind what is being shared. This not only deepens the conversation, but enhances the mutual understanding between both parties. Flexibility plays a vital role in effective communication. It's about adapting to the twists and turns of a conversation without forcing it to proceed in a predetermined direction. Being open to where the dialogue naturally leads can reveal insights and strengthen the connection. However, not all turns in a conversation are beneficial. Sometimes, we need to gently steer or even redirect the dialogue if it veers off into counterproductive territories or becomes too one-sided. Recognizing when a conversation is heading off track and knowing how to guide it back without alienation is a skill that preserves the constructive nature of the interaction. By embracing these principles, you can elevate your listening from passive hearing to active, empathetic engagement. This shift not only makes your conversation partners feel truly understood, but also deepens your relationships, making each interaction more meaningful and rewarding. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.